Hey, Sharon here. I am about to do some plumbing and I thought I would share some how-to stuff with you guys. I've done this before, but it's been probably 10 years or more since I've done this. So it's almost like it being the first time. Hopefully we can get it done and it'll work great. I'm replacing the faucet on the kitchen sink, and I will show you why. So the tap was dripping quite a bit this morning, and I looked it up, and it basically said this thing needs to be replaced. Well, so I took it all apart, and getting that thing out is kind of hard, and it doesn't look like anything that I could find online, which means they probably don't even make this kind anymore, which is pretty standard operation for everything in this house. We do live in an older home, so a lot of things are kind of wonky. But I was looking at my tap here, and it's kind of old, and it's getting like it's corroded and some rust, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to replace the whole thing. And then I thought, well, I will share that with you guys and show you how that's done. Good luck to me. All right, underneath the sink, you have an off for your hot water and an off for your cold water, just down here, and an off for our dishwasher. This is kind of an unusual little thing so that you can actually run the dishwasher without having these two taps on. It's kind of a little thing that my husband set up there. He does the pipe work and I do the other plumbing work. It's a tag team. All right, a few quick notes. I have a pillow down so that my back doesn't get too messed up. It's not going to be great, but it'll help quite a bit. Just an old pillow that was ready to probably be thrown out, but I've been letting the cat sleep on it, so I was just using that to kind of help my back some. And then this is a plumber's wrench, so you can reach up around things with it to loosen up screws and nuts. And I have a helper. So you can see that plumber's wrench just turning that nut a little bit. It's kind of hard to keep it on there sometimes, especially when you're upside down. But now that I've loosened it, I should be able to just reach up there with my fingers and get that off of there. See? Now I have the water line off of there. I need to unscrew this, which is what's holding that sink in. And these can be a little tight, but they usually should not be more than finger tight. This one has already been loosened. So, and then I'll show you, you can just screw that right off of there. It's still a little tight, but you should be able to get it off. Alright, so next up, I need to unhook the main tap from the sprayer line. And I'm going to loosen these nuts up, and then I'll get back to y'all. Alright, I finally got that thing loose after much cussing and screaming and crying. No crying yet. And so once I get that off, I should be able to take the fixture out. That's what it looks like after you take that off of there. Nasty. So I'm going to clean that up, and then we're going to put our new fixture on. Hopefully that'll be easier than taking it off. Sink is clean and ready for the new faucet. This right here is going to be what keeps my sink from getting so nasty. This goes under the faucet. For some reason I didn't have one the last time I put the faucet on, so we're going to have one this time, and hopefully that will help. So we just kind of line it up on the holes right there. You always, before you get your faucet, you want to make sure it's going to fit your pre-existing holes. That's a big thing. Measure from here, from the center of here to the center of there, and that should give you your proper measurement. So now we got to put our faucet in, and we're just going to drop her right in there just like that. Nice and easy. But now we still got to hook it all up. All right, so we're going to put our little sprayer cover in, and then we're going to put the sprayer hose in, feed it down, and then seat her right in there. It's not going to really stay in there until we get everything tightened up. So before I connect the sprayer to the faucet, I have to put the locking nut on there. So that has to go on the tube from the bottom, and then we'll have to carry it all the way up to the top of the tube. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I'm alone here tonight, so I'm kind of doing everything one-handed. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I can get it started. There we go. Okay, now this super cool thing, which did not seem to exist when I did this previously 10 years ago. It probably existed, I just happened to not buy something that had it on there. But it's got like a little quick release, so that should you have to just replace the sprayer, it's much easier to get it off. Now, anytime you're doing these, you only want to hand tighten it. You don't want to tighten it with like a wrench or anything, because then it'd be super tight and hard to get off later. Trust me on that. Plus, you can also break parts that way. I got everything attached. So you'll notice that one of the handles has a gray nut on it, and the other one has a black, and that's because the matching one would not work for whatever reason. It would not thread on there. So I had to use one of the old nuts, and it worked just fine. It's got it in there nice and tight. It's, you know, sometimes you just have to compromise or drive yourself crazy. I did order extra ones, but of course they were not immediately available. So this is what I'm living with, and maybe when the new ones come in, I'll switch it out if it's a problem. Otherwise, I'll probably just keep it if I need, just in case I need it later. Connect the water lines to the handles. Should just screw right on there, which again, it's kind of hard to do one-handed. And make sure you know, put the cold line to the cold tab, to the cold handle, and the hot line to the hot handle. All right, moment of truth. All right, there we go. So one thing, it's important to remember that when you first turn it on, it's not going to run, because it's going to have sediment and stuff in it, even if it's not been off for very long. So let's go up here. I don't see any leakage there. Go ahead and turn the cold on. I don't see any leakage there. None in the back. That's great. All right, let's test our sprayer. Pretty sad, but hopefully once our pressure gets up and running, we'll be good. Of course, I don't have it up to yet. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Much better. All right. All right. So that's good. Go ahead and turn our hot on a little more. Okay, so we got both on. I don't see any water leaking out up here. Don't see any water leaking down here either. So hopefully we are good to go. Tell you in a couple of days. Okay, y'all, so this is what I look like after I've done this. It's been 2.5 hours, and there's been a lot of cussing and almost crying, but no crying, and some frustration. So what I would say is, if you can, hire a plumber.